Grab the mini, glue the base, lick the brush, dab the paint, shade the body, finish the face. Engineer Jeff, make goblins look great.
Hey modelers, today we're going to paint the Reaper Bones Pathfinder Goblin. Really like the sculpts on these. It's a lot of fun to paint. Gonna use some Vallejo game color in the Goblin green. Put a couple drops into your palette and then mix a little water in with it. And start applying your base coat to the skin. You notice it doesn't really get great coverage here at the first pass, but that's because we're going to be making a couple different passes. I'm not going to show you those steps, but just continue to make repeated passes until you get the good coverage that you need. Basically going to use this color to base coat all the areas where there's skin exposed. And after a couple more passes, this is what you should have. Nice good coverage. Not too much paint. So what I do is, since there's a lot of goblins, I'm just going to kind of batch paint them. So while that one's drying, I'll go through and take my next one and base coat all the green skin on it. Again, here's the original, the one we're working on, after a couple coats. I'm going to take some Citadel color 10 bits. I really like this as a base coat for my golds, and I'm going to go in and put a coat down on everything that I want to have some kind of brassy color. I got some little shoulder pads. I was going to make them leather, but I decided to make them metallic as it stands out a little better. Again, you probably have to do a couple passes with this, a couple coats. I like to thin my paint down enough to where I don't obscure detail. So usually, you have to put a couple coats down to get good coverage. I'll get the torch. That's what we've got so far. We'll go back in later and put another coat on after that's dried. Using Vallejo Model Air Steel for the blade. It's got really good coverage, so it only took one coat to get what I needed. That's what we got so far. This is Vallejo Model Air Flat Tan or Flat Brown. You can use any, like leatherish color. What we're going to do is paint the tunic here, I think. Yep. There's a lot of detail in this model. that doesn't really pop until you start getting different colors on it. So I was always finding something I missed. Oh, there's a little metal piece here. Oh, there's a piece of rope there, you know, or his belt. Each one's a little bit different, so your mileage may vary. That's what we got so far. I'll actually go back in and make another coat, get some better coverage. I'm going to use Vallejo Model Air Burnt Umber. Now, you don't have to use Vallejo Model Air. I just really like this paint line. Any nice dark brown color or any comparable color will work, from the Citadel line, Privateer Press, you know, even Vallejo model colors, same thing. Heck, use Apple Barrel if you've got it. Just paint your stuff and have fun with it. And that's after we painted the fur. I'm going to take some Game Color Bone White, and I'm going to paint the bandages, or the leg wraps, and the wrist wraps. And there's all, they got a bone necklace and some other things that look like bone on there. About this time I realized that I hadn't painted the teeth yet. There's the necklace. And then there's these little bone-like things hanging from the bottom around his belt. I really like these Reaper Bones models. They're super cheap. They're kind of a pain to remove mold lines, but for just gaming purposes, I mean, I'm not looking to win any competitions with these paint jobs, so getting these things painted up for an RPG session, they do just fine. I think they look better than the pre-painted stuff. It's more fun too. And I finally got around to painting his teeth. That's what we got so far. Vallejo Model Air wood will make up the handle for the torch. Usually with the way I thin these paints down, after 2 coats, it's got pretty good coverage. Sometimes, depending on the color, it may take 3. I'm going to use some Vallejo Model Air Mahogany. And I'm going to paint the bag he has hanging off his belt. You can paint that any color. I just thought I would paint it like a reddish brown color. I'm going to use the Citadel Shining Gold and just go in and do some quick highlighting on some of the brassy areas, places that would, you know, be reflective. That's what we got so far. Oh, I missed a spot. I'll take some Game Color I don't even know how to pronounce it, Escorpina green. And that's what I'm going to do my highlighting on the skin colors. Just go in and hit the raised edges, cheekbones, eyebrows, lips. Top of the head. These little goblins are a lot of fun to paint. Tops of the feet, I guess that would be his heel. And his fingers. And toes. That's what we got so far. Got to add a couple drops of that bone color to my highlight green and mix it in. And with this, I'm going to do some, extreme highlight. This will be my final highlight. Mainly just hitting the tops of the model, places that it's really going to be reflective, a lot of sunlight, or where light would be reflected. Going to take some Citadel color blood red, and we're going to paint the eyes. And now our goblin can see. So I've got this special mix of Dayglow pigment paint that I made up, and I'm going to paint the torch a yellow color. You can do it with regular paints. I just find that you get a lot more pop with this Dayglow stuff. Start out with a yellow, and then as you go higher up on the flame or further away from the heat source, paint in your orange, and then finally at the top put a little bit of red on there. And that's what we've got so far. So here, what I'm doing is I'm making a filter. This is really watered down, and actually it's probably got a little more paint in it than it should. But you just use a lot of water. I don't know, say 20 parts water to 1 part paint, maybe more. You just kind of got to get a feel for it. And it's like a very thin down wash. And what this does is it brings all those colors. It kind of knocks the highlights down a notch, and you get your shading and whatnot. And after it dries, this is what it looks like. And what I also did is I took some of the yellow paint and I painted the edge of the top of the blade to make it like where the light from the torch was lighting up the blade. So I'll take some Elmer school glue, and I'm just going to randomly dab it all over the base. And this is Woodland Scenic's Blended Turf. It's the green blend. You can get all different colors for it. I just open it up, dunk it in there, tap it off, and you get something like this. Nice little base for a nice cheap mini. I'd like to thank Reaper Miniatures for making these models. They were super fun to paint, had a blast. I'd also like to thank DireGreenSlime, my good friend, for his acting talents at the beginning of this video. And here's the rest of the crew. If you liked the video, please comment and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace.
If you get a part in the next frickin' Uber Goober or something like that.
I'm gonna make myself a real goblin prosthetic outfit. I'm gonna go all out. Cross your fingers I don't say lick the balls.
If you do, it's going in the outtakes at the end.